Hi guys, I had rather hoped that I'd finished looking at this Toyota Hilux, Nikko with winch. I've had a couple of questions, so we'll see if we can answer those questions. First of all, the gearbox and the winch. I'm pointing there at that little black blob, that's where the winch is. It's just I don't think will it come apart? Oh, it will come apart. Oh, hang on. Right, okay, this will all probably go horribly wrong, but there we are. So we got a gear there. I don't know if there's any sort of clutch on that. If I try and hold that still, I can't feel a clutch. There's a little bit of movement there. I was wondering if that was some sort of a clutch. Can we get it all out and have a look at it? Yeah. No, it's not a clutch. We've simply got a gear that winds up that bobbin. So put that back in there. Right, so that's in there. And when that's, oh, let's put the cover back on it. Right, that's back in place. And if I turn that gear by hand, we should be able to wind it back up again. Not as efficient as doing it with a little motor. So yes, that's winding that back up. That fell out of there, don't want to lose that one. Right, next thing. The gearbox. Right, here's our motor. It has got a sort of spring-loaded. I don't think I can move that with my hand. But that'll be some sort of strain release. That spring on it. So that would fit in there somewhere. Yeah, that's when that's round this way. Get it the right way around, Grandad. That'll go round that way, so that comes down there. Yeah, that's better. That sits, that makes more sense. That sits in there, that drives that big gear there. Okay, small gear, big gear. Move that out the way again. So we're driving that gear. We've got a long shaft or long gear there, because underneath here we've got the bit for low gear, high gear and winch. So when that moves right the way across there to the winch position, when this is the other way up, that way up, that is going to be that way round, because we've turned it around to get it out. Just believe me for now. That gear there will line up with one of these gears in here. Can I get that into position so we can see it? Sorry, but there's no other way of doing this other than getting my hands in the way. those wires got to come in there, that's got to sit down there. Right, so when that all sits down, the winch will, I can see it now, it will align with, I should think, that gear. I'm guessing. From position, I should think it's that one. And then down in there, we've got a few more gears. And it's right over this way. We've got small gear, pinion gear onto big gear there, onto small gear there, onto a slightly bigger gear there, onto a small gear there, onto a bigger gear there. And in fact, it goes down through another gear to get down to the actual axle. Whereas if we slide it across the other way to that position, then it's pinion gear to that gear to that gear to that gear, which is bigger compared to the one down there. So that's going to be high gear to low gear. So that must be the, well, we can actually have a look if we're lucky. Low, high, winch. Can we see that? Low, high, winch. So it's in the high position there, which, as I say, is big gear there to small gear. And as I say, there is also another gear actually on the axle. Right, so that's the gears. I hope, I know that wasn't particularly clear, but that's the gears. Right, next thing, the on-off switch. If I push it that way, it means that wire makes contact with that wire, and that red one makes contact with that white one. Or is it pink? It's pink, isn't it? If it comes the other way, pull it this way, then that wire there makes contact with that yellow one. And the yellow one comes up to the charging socket. So if you are charging it, assuming you've got rechargeable batteries in there, then it'll only charge when the switch is in the off position, this way. So forwards, I could try and put some meters on there, but we're connecting together these wires. Let's get a meter. I've got the meter. You can't see it, but I'm just checking for continuity, so you should be able to hear the beep. So let's just have a look there to there. I think there to there. That's because I've not got it in the right position. Okay, that's connecting the red to the yellow. Push it back the other way. And now we should have nothing. Okay, and if I go across red to pink. Yep. Right, I wanted to check that. It is actually separate sides. A lot of these switches, the sides are common together. But if I go down there, we're not making contact there, but we are making contact there. If I go there, making contact there, not making contact there. So, just to explain what I'm trying to prove there, that thick purpley coloured wire goes directly to the motor. That's the one we're looking at there. Which is funny because it's a great thick wire. The other side of it is that thin pink wire, which if we trace it around goes up to there. Why is that significant? Because red wire we'll call the positive end, goes through a battery and then comes back on that one, strapped across to that one, goes through a battery, back to that one, up along this pink wire to that top one, which is significant because that's the one that's connected to and it comes across to there. But that top one through a battery, or two batteries as it is, back to there, through that strap up there and back to there, which is our negative. And it's also got a diode on there which goes to the charger socket. So the receiver is running off negative into the receiver, and that pink wire is going to be the positive. That pink wire there. So that pink wire there is the one that gets connected to that red wire there. So the receiver gets the full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 1.5. The receiver gets the full 12 volts. Whereas the motor starts on that 6 volt point there. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1.5, 6 volts there. Goes up there through the motor. Then onto that blue wire up to there. I apologise, I've forgotten how we pronounce the guy's name. I think it's Marcus, or is it Marcus? I can't remember. I should have written it down. He asked the question whether it runs on 6 volts forwards and 6 volts backwards, or 6 volts positive forwards and 6 volts negative backwards, which you could see you could do here because they've taken the midpoint. So if the midpoint is going to the motor, then depending on how the H-bridge switches, you could either have positive 6 volts. If I hold my fingers on there, you could have those 6 volts go into the motor, or if I point with my probe, the bottom 6 volts, so positive or negative, which is what he was trying to explain in his comments. So although we've got a 12 volt supply, it looks like the motor is running on 6 volts one way and 6 volts the other. Next thing we can do is put some batteries in there and measure it. Just a quick reminder of what it looks like in there. A whole load of batteries. Right. Oh dear, it's all a little bit tight here, don't want to lose any wires. Now we've got the old problem where the aerial or the receiver picks up anything. If I touch the aerial wire, anyway, that's a side issue that I've already covered. I will go and get the transmitter that works for this one. Right, this is the transmitter that works with this car. So forwards, backwards. And what we want to now measure is what voltage is going into the motor when it's going forwards and backwards. I'm going to have to change the leads on my meter, so I've got clips. Right, I think we can see the meter. So forwards, got -5 volts. Backwards, plus, well, 4.8 volts. That's close enough. No idea what state those batteries are in. So, in answer to his question, yes, you're 100% right. It's using negative one way and positive the other to give us the forwards and backwards. And the way it does that is by splitting the voltage on the 8 batteries at the midpoint on the 4 battery point to give us half the voltage, or give us +6 and -6. Alright, I think that's covered everything. Probably not quite as well as I would have liked to. It's all a little bit tight to see what's going on in there. That's quite a gearbox, isn't it? So we'll try and get it back together. No need to video that. Right, all back together. Forwards, backwards, right, left. So it still works after all that. I was just going to put it all away, and then I thought, I can't remember if we did actually look inside the gearbox. I mean, we were just looking at it from up underneath, or on top to be exact, but this cover comes off the back and we can see quite clearly what's going on here. This is the slide for the 3 positions. So over in that position, which is low gear, oh, we can actually do it. Do it that way around. So that's low gear. Middle position. So it's now that gear and that gear meshing. That's high speed. And then all the way over, you can't see, but that gear is now meshing with the winch on the other side. Show the winch. Come back this way a bit. Okay. The other thing I did notice just now looking at this, when that slides across, just there, that gear actually slides in a slot and is fixed, so it can't actually turn. That gear turns. Oh, we're not in gear at all at the moment to turn. I think you can see what I'm saying. That gear is turning, but that one isn't. That one is in a slot, and that actually locks the winch in place. I've just slid it across and I can pull the winch out. If I push it back the other way, that actually locks the winch in place so it can't turn. The winch gear is literally just under there. I go to about that position. No, got to go all the way before I can release it. Right, I think I've covered everything on this car now. I'm sure somebody will find something I haven't covered and ask another question. But I don't remember opening the gearbox up and showing that. Did the front end, definitely did the front end, but I don't remember doing the back end. So, I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel, and down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.